Hi, I'm Thandie, and I'd love to read you a story. This is a story my mum used to tell me when I was little. My mum is from Zimbabwe, in East Africa, and this is an African folk tale called Chivu. There was a woman, so lonely, so terribly lonely without a child. This void ate away her very soul and made heavy her longing heart. Many thought her fate was the result of a curse for a wrongdoing. Even she thought this may be true. She would pray for forgiveness, but she was innocent of any crime. She pleaded with the gods and Mother Earth to bless her with a child, but the beauty of tiny whimpers was not to be heard from within her empty home. In desperation, she worked a block of clay, for she was a potter. She worked this clay into the image of a child, the girl she ceaselessly dreamt of. This clay figure that she had worked so lovingly held features so pure that when she touched it, why, she was touching her own baby. So great was her affection. Then in the depth of one dark night, an old man approached her home and crept unseen and silently to the clay child. This man had witnessed the woman's desperation and felt the same sorrow in his own heart. This man was no ordinary elder of the village, but a man from a place far beyond any mortal's reach. He was her watcher, sent from the gods to help her, a childless woman. Even the beasts of the prairies felt a mysterious, enchanting presence as, with a smile and a shut of his knowing eyes, the watcher lay his hands upon the clay child, and then disappeared, never to be seen again. No. Was it true? Impossible. Inconceivable. A work of magic. A girl, made from clay, that could move and breathe. Alone she could move, run, play, laugh, and love that woman who so yearned for a child. The girl of clay had been blessed with a soul. But there was a whisper on the wind. The child of clay has no enemies save the rain. With a thankful sigh, the woman acknowledged the whisper and smiled a tearful smile, so warm that it lit the very African dawn, and a new day began. Chivu, girl of clay. Her name was to be Chivu. Such a compassionate, tender, happy child, ignorant of her mysterious secret. Chivu would play with the other children, stealthily run, dance, chatter, comfort. She was a gift to all, and greatly admired and loved. They say that even the wild beasts of the land, fish of the waters, and birds of the air loved dear Chivu. One day, a chill wind blew, so alien to all it caressed. But the sudden chillness in the woman's heart was greater. She sensed great loss to come, and panic that seemed to tighten its grip around her heart. She ran to the door of her hut, and sure enough, great rolling storm clouds charged onwards toward her like an army armed with her greatest nightmare and her innocent child's only enemy. Through tears of fright, she stumbled from the opening into the evening air, glancing all around as she pulled her shawl about her. "Chivu!" she cried. "My love, Chivu! Come home! Run, my child, as fast as the waters! Run home to me!" In her African tongue she shouted these words, which were snatched away by the wind. She raced to nearby huts. No Chivu. Into the empty market square. No Chivu. Like a swift arrow, it struck her. she would never see her daughter again. But she pulled that arrow from her back and cracked it in two. Her child would live. She had to live. She headed for home. Maybe Chivu would be there. But no Chivu. The sky grew angry and relentless as she sat before the open door with tears smothering her beautiful face. Slowly, quietly, she began to sing, with such deep emotion that it made her weak with the effort. She sang, Chivu, 'tis Anvura, Chivu, 'tis Anvura, Chivu, 'tis Anvura, Chivu, 'tis Anvura. Chivu, come out of the rain. Chivu, come out of the rain. On and on she chanted, swaying back and forth, hoping that Chivu would hear her song. In the next village, Chivu's smile was shadowed. Something suddenly pestered her. Her stomach grew anxious. Something pulled at her heart. She seemed to hear, hear someone calling her, like the birds as they call to one another. Confused, she left the other children. She wanted to go home. She needed to see her mama. With a skip and a run, she trundled home, happier with the direction she was traveling. She did not hear the roar and cackle of the skies, only headed harder into the wind towards home. Overhead, the clouds were dark and threatening. Farmers, happily aware that at last the rains were coming as the cattle huddled together on the grassland. At home, the woman seemed to have aged. Still she chanted, trying to ignore the clouds which jeered over her like a curse. Then suddenly, through her tears, she saw someone running towards her. Was her heart playing tricks? A child. Yes, a child was running towards her. But the fight was not over, and the moments dragged like decades. Chivu's smile became a puzzled frown, and she realized her mama was desperately shouting at her to hurry. She was calling, Chivu! Chivu! Chivu ran as fast as her small body would let her, and as the first drop of rain fell upon the parched ground, Chivu's body stepped across the threshold and entered her home and into her mother's arms. A beaming smile across Chivu's face, innocent of her mother's plight. They held each other tight. The mother's tears of fear, now tears of joy. She kissed her daughter's face, but then withdrew, looking at Chivu. She realized that her child no longer held the grey, dusty pallor of clay, but was now truly a human child. Chivu's mahogany skin for the first time shone with real perspiration. No one can truly understand the happiness in that woman's heart. For after her long struggle, in which not once had she faltered or ceased hope, she had proved herself, time over, worthy of that precious gift of a child, worthy of her Chivu.